we go. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Chris, and this is Barnum 11970, and this is another unscheduled, just spur of the moment live show I would like to do for the people who care to listen. There are few people, and I appreciate those who want to be those few people because um, it's time to put some reality into what's going on here. And I hope people will care enough to listen and spread this if they feel it resonates with them. Um, If you've been a follower of my channel for a while, you know I've had several different ways, several different thoughts, progressing. At least I'd like to think I was progressing as I was going along. And the more we see this system, the more we realize the things that we were literally called crazy for years ago and conspiracy theorists and tinfoil hat wearing people is coming true. There have been many people that have been talking about how the government rigs the system, and we've been told we've been crazy and wrong and paranoid, and yet it's been proven at this point, beyond doubt. And governments throughout the world are not there for you. Plain and simple. There are some people that will succeed financially in a corrupt system, and they want to utilize their ability to have this money that's basically, well, currency, it's not money, that's barely treading water to bribe you. But as you could see throughout the world, every country is printing their currency like it's going out of style. And the more you print something, the more it devalues, which is why things are not getting more expensive. It is you need more of the currency to make the same purchase. So those who make this currency in this system enough to think they can survive, they're on a sinking ship that is not sinking as fast as the others, and you will go down with the ship. And I've been watching a lot recently where they've been talking about war, and you could see how especially Hillary Clinton is, and the Democrats are always talking about how Russia is trying to start things. Now, I've heard many people talk about Russia. Russia has 7 time zones, I believe. They are so large, they have 7 time zones. They have 2 military bases outside of their own country. And both of them are right near their country. I don't know the exact. I think one might be in Syria. I could be wrong. Please forgive me. I'm not a historian when it comes to Russia. But I know they only have 2 military bases outside of their country. We have military bases in over 120 countries. So who's the one that's looking for more conquest? And yet they've been talking about recently, and I hear this a lot in videos, about how they want to start a war. And I've been telling people with my videos about how there wouldn't be an election, and there would be some form of distraction. And war is always the best form of distraction. That's why we've had so many of them, even when they don't categorize them under war. When somebody from one country murders people from another country, I don't care what you title it, it's far as war. And we are going to allow a possible destruction so we can have some paper currency while it still lasts. And I think this is a sad thing. And like the title, well, like the picture that you see on the screen, it says people should not be afraid of their government. The government should be afraid of their people. And they prove their fear by locking us up, by creating more laws, by trying to make us seem like we're crazy conspiracy theorists, even though we have proof of their manipulation throughout the world. And if we idly sit by and think, oh, this shall pass, we are allowing a potentially dangerous situation to occur. Hillary Clinton even said it in the debates when she tried to dodge her criminal activity with her emails, trying to blame it on Russia. The media is always trying to point it towards Russia. Why? Because they want to get the simpleton people out there, the ones who would rather watch football and care about the latest Hollywood gossip over their own government and their own future for their family, get them to believe that Russia is the enemy. And you need a scapegoat. You need a patsy. And this banking system is failing. Look at Deutsche Bank. They are millions upon millions of dollars in debt. And their derivatives are going to bankrupt them. And you know what'll happen? They'll try and do a bailout. But if they try and do a bailout with Deutsche Bank, well, what about the Italian banks? What about all the other banks in Europe that are going to say, wait a minute, me first? Now think about that, ladies and gentlemen. The banks are the sole reason that we are in the situation that we're in. And yet they require bailouts for their own greed. And the governments throughout the world allow this by continually selling their bonds. Who's buying them? Are you buying any bonds right now? Does anybody even ask the question of who are buying these government bonds besides the government throughout the world? And how much they are manipulating things? The whole price drop of gold over about $100 an ounce was basically because they pumped approximately $40 million worth of gold paper onto the market within what, 5 minutes? Are you telling me there's sellers out there that have that much gold future that they just dumped it for no reason and nothing happens? What happened when the Hunts brothers tried to manipulate the stock market or the silver market? How'd that work out for them? And yet they can constantly do this all the time, and we pretend like, oh, there's no problem. And then you'll have people say, oh, well, it's only one country. It's every country, ladies and gentlemen. If we continue to do nothing and allow these governments to just tell us how to live our lives, ladies and gentlemen, there will potentially be World War III. And my video saying there'll never be a World War III will be proven wrong. And that's one I don't ever want to be wrong about. And this is just disgusting that I watch these debates and I watch the news when it's on YouTube because I don't have mainstream media TV because that's how you get away from this stuff. But even the videos now, the ones that are just talking about gold and silver, they're talking about a scapegoat because the banks are insolvent, ladies and gentlemen. What money? Who out there is a wealthy nation when they're all borrowing, when they're all mass producing their currency? Who is succeeding here? Every government has conspired against its own people. You may not be feeling it as bad as somewhere else, depending on where you live in this world, but make no mistake, you're on a sinking ship. And I'm so tired of trying to pretend everything's wonderful when we see what's happening. It's incredible what we are going to allow our governments to do or potentially do. And ladies and gentlemen, if there ever was a nuclear war, which I still in my heart believe will not happen, but if there was, ladies and gentlemen, do you think the governments have not been prepared for this for decades, and they will be living underground while we all suffer, while we all, at the very least, become poorer? You think they're going to let you in? All the people that were bribed, and all the people that were told to look the old other way, and all the people in higher authorities who silenced other people, all those people in the FBI that sold out the American people, all the people around the world in their governments that sold out their fellow countrymen, you think they'll be safe too? Or you think you'll be thrown to the garbage and thrown out into the gutter when your purpose is no longer served? You ever notice when people get murdered, the ones that were doing something they shouldn't have, you get what you deserve? Why aren't people angry about this? This is so frustrating that I'm just sitting here, and because of the stupidity of the majority of the people out there, my future could be at risk. Your future could be at risk. Your family's future could be at risk. So all those people that sold out and got some fiat currency from them, you think your family's going to be safe? What are you going to do with that money, that currency, that garbage when it's useless, when it's worthless, when they decide they're just going to change it because they can, because they can do anything at this point? I mean, you have WikiLeaks exposing all of the fraud in the DNC, and yet people still think the votes will count. And people really think that Donald Trump, whether he is full of integrity or not, you really think he's going to go into a system, they're going to throw him in the lion's den, and you think he's going to come out unscathed? Wishful thinking, ladies and gentlemen. This is wishful thinking. I would love for somebody like Donald Trump to come in as a white knight, sitting on his shiny horse with his nice shiny sword coming in to save the day, but they're going to throw him to the lion's den. And lions, when they're hungry, they'll tear anybody to shreds. But yet, keep thinking, He's going to save the day. He's going to go into a mafia, a corrupt system that's been corrupt for thousands of years, and this one person is going to change anything and come out a hero. That's what you want to believe. And all the people around the world who think they're better than us, you don't think you're going to feel the effects when every currency on the planet is a fiat currency that's connected to the US dollar? You don't think when ours falls, yours is not going to fall too? The few are going to destroy the many, and we are allowing it. It's disgusting. And you know what? If that's the case, then let it happen. Let there be a nuclear war then. Because why would I want to be on a planet where people don't give a shit? I'll be fine no matter what happens. Because I've tried my best to have a clear conscience. That doesn't mean I'm perfect. Doesn't mean I say everything right. I can be a very defensive son of a bitch to people that leave nasty comments. But you know what? If you want to disagree, do it in a civilized manner. And if you're going to talk like a dog, you're going to be treated like one. That's just how I am. But this is just ridiculous how all around the world we still want to think governments are going to save us. Wake up, ladies and gentlemen, throughout the world. Look at your history books. Tell me one savior that ever came about. Even Jesus Christ died by our hands of our government officials. If you want to even believe that story to be true. I don't know, I wasn't there. But even the highest savior, the son of a god, supposedly, reached what? The age of 33 before our people murdered him and his followers watched him die? They sure wept. When people are being executed, they love to stand there and watch them burn. It's disgusting how sad this world is. And it hurts me as a person who wants to help. It hurts me as a person who cares. It hurts me as a person that will take in sheltered animals that are dying in the streets from what I can and almost lose everything to make sure their lives are good. Do we really care so little about humanity that we're going to allow it to be potentially destroyed? It's disgusting. Obama, Hillary Clinton, prime ministers of every country in the world, in my opinion, should be hung. That's just my opinion. And that's the one beautiful thing left about free speech. And if there's any NSA people listening, you have sold out your souls, and you will be dumped just like the rest of us. Just like the rest of your family. So keep allowing evil to happen. And all the sellouts in the mainstream media who are spreading lies. You think you will be saved. You think you will be unharmed. You think your money will purchase the things when it no longer has value? You reap what you sow, ladies and gentlemen. I thoroughly believe in that. And I'm ready for anything. And I choose to not live in fear. And I'm just frustrated that there could be proof after proof. You can have people proving they're guilty to the point where it's not even a joke anymore. You have people like Trump, if anything, he at least has the ability to say what so many people are afraid to say, talking about how the government and the media is corrupt. And yet, what are we doing about it? What leader do we need for people to wake up? What do we need? Do we need a nuclear war for people to say, oh shit, I should have done something? Yeah, you should have, but now it's going to be too late if that's the case. If we don't do something before this election, ladies and gentlemen, I really think the most worst possible situations could happen. Not because I am one of those doom and gloom people, but it's because nobody gives a shit to want to change it. And we're going to allow evil to thrive. It's a choice, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want this? Don't allow it to happen. Plain and simple. So all the people that want to unsubscribe and say, oh, well, you were so positive once and you're so negative now. It's not negative. It's the reality of the reality we're choosing right now. that we can have evidence upon evidence and nobody is doing anything about it? Where is the demanding for our representatives, the people that we supposedly voted in? Where are they being afraid? What about the people in the FBI that are hiding all the evidence and destroying all this evidence and covering their fellow brothers and sisters in their own government? What are we doing? Oh, they did an investigation. Please. It's so disgusting at this point. This whole world, we're supposed to be human beings, and yet all we do is fight each other, hate each other, want to destroy each other, steal from each other, and we're civilized? We deserve this world? For what reason? What reason do we have to have the right to even be on this planet with what we do to one another? Let alone what we do to animals, let alone what we do to nature, let alone what we do to the water, let alone what we do to this planet. What gives us the right to even want to be here, and should even deserve to be here, when we don't even give a damn about ourselves? The hypocrisy in this world is unbelievable. If you look at your next door neighbor, I guarantee you they're kind to their children, just like if you have children, you're kind to theirs. And I bet you all the people you know are pretty much kind to their children and don't wish them harm. And yet we allow governments throughout the world to hang people, imprison people, send other people to murder them, steal their wealth, regulate your lives, and tell you what to do. And we're okay with that. Well, I'm not okay with it. All governments throughout the world should be restructured with people who care. But I don't think there are people like that anymore. Not enough. And somebody the other day made some ridiculous comment about how much I care about views. I don't give a damn about views anymore. If you want to unsubscribe because you don't like to hear what I have to say, that's perfectly fine. I'm not here to stroke somebody's ego. Because if that's what you need, you're in the wrong place. I will speak truth. I will speak reality, at least the reality path that we're on, and we could still change it. Nothing is inevitable unless you do nothing. Stand on a train track, watch a train come near you, do nothing, and watch what happens. You will be destroyed. That's not doom and gloom. That's not depressing. It's just stupidity based on your choice of deciding to do nothing. All you have to do is get off the tracks, and that horrible situation does not happen. And Pyro Life says we just don't see it yet. You're absolutely right. They don't see it. Once was blind, but now I see. They choose to keep the blinders on. And by the time they see it, the bombs will be dropping. If that's the case. There is no hope when there is no hope. But until that moment happens, there is always hope. We want to allow potential governments to start a fight between the United States and Russia. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to affect the entire world if that happens. I don't care where you live. I don't care if you live in Iceland, where everybody says it's so wonderful. I don't care if you live on some island out in the seas that no one has ever heard about. I don't care if you think you have nothing to do with it. It's going to affect everyone. And we're just going to allow it. Because some people in government say so. These people that have been stealing from us, these people that have been robbing from us, these people who have been creating our laws, these people who can break the laws that they say that we're not allowed to do, like we are inferior to them. They get away with it. Why? Because we allow it. And Mean Rabbit says there's plenty of hope. Well, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I absolutely hope you are right. Notice how I use the word hope in that. There's always a chance to change things, because the bad hasn't happened yet. But we're getting closer, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't see anybody out there in the media all of a sudden going on a live broadcast and saying, you know what, this is full of shit, and it's not right, and I don't want to partake in it anymore. And yet there are still millions of people who will switch to Channel 4, or Channel 5, or Channel whatever, and watch the mainstream media news and actually believe what they say. They're fictional bullshit stories, it's true. and all the numbers you get that are documented, you want to believe them. With all your heart, you want to believe them, because then you'll think somebody's going to come and save the day. Why do you think so many people really care about this presidential election? It's because they actually think that Donald Trump is going to come save the day in a corrupt system. You're kidding yourself. I want one of you, wherever you are in the world, to go into whatever mafia is in your area. Go in there by yourself and change it. Let's see you do that. I dare one of you to do it. Whether it's an Italian mafia, Russian mafia, Chinese mafia, whoever. Go there by yourself and change them. And watch how quickly you will fail. And yet we want to think that Donald Trump is going to be able to change. You think multi-billionaires are going to allow this person to do anything other than stroke your egos and lie to you, even if he meant the truth. And all the other rulers around the world, where they try and make you hate other people that you've never met in your life. You want to believe them because it makes you feel better. It strokes your own ego to know, oh, I can hate somebody else and we are so far superior. How do people even believe in religion when the ego is one of the worst things to be keeping alive and strong? Your vanity is going to be our demise. And pro-life says, why can't we organize a group just like Trump's? You want to know why? Because the majority of people don't give a shit. The majority of people are looking out for themselves. The majority of people are afraid to speak their mind. How many channels do you know speak up like I do? That don't have a paid influence. I'm not sponsored by anybody. Nobody tells me what to say or how to think. And I don't give a damn if I have 5,000 trolls telling me I'm an idiot or I'm a moron. They will get what's coming to them eventually, even if I don't have the satisfaction of seeing it. Because we, ladies and gentlemen, throughout this world, until we realize we are all brothers and sisters, we are all human beings, and we will all either thrive together or fall together, we don't deserve to be here. Not at all. When we have an elitist group that feel they are superior to us and we are labeled as common, ordinary, regular, then that is saying they are better. And we say, oh, I guess they are. Why is anybody better than you? Why is anyone better than me? Why are we not all equal? And why is it the media throughout the world and the governments throughout the world make us feel inferior? Because maybe we have a different skin color. Maybe we have a different sexual preference. Maybe we have a different religious belief. Why is somebody who believes in a different invisible God than mine, why are they better or worse? Why is it that somebody who has an additional bunch of pieces of green paper or whatever color you put on your currency throughout your world, why is that person that has more of those pieces of paper, those debt notes, why are they superior? You know, it's okay to be angry, but it's not okay to use your anger to abuse. But it is okay to turn your anger into something positive. I'm angry, but you don't hear me wanting to hurt the world. I want to unite the world. I want people to see the beauty in everybody, not a select few, the privileged. Just imagine if there is a true God and looking at its creation, sitting there doing nothing but fighting itself. Just imagine if you were God and you gave your creation free will and all you wanted them to do was find a way to become brothers and sisters and love one another. And you look down or up wherever you are and you see them doing nothing but fighting and killing and stealing and separating. Would you give a damn about what happened to them? Would you care if they all burned themselves to the ground when you could just start it over? Would you want to participate? Because what are you going to do? Show some you love them? The select few? Because according to religion, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a homosexual, then you're wrong. If you eat meat on a Friday, you're wrong. If you have lustful thoughts, you're wrong, according to the religion. Or maybe it's according to what man's version of their control and using religion as a control mechanism would be. And this is governments throughout history. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you live in Europe or Asia or South Africa or South America and all these other places that love to attack the United States, ladies and gentlemen, we've been here, what, 2.5 centuries? Getting close to 3? And some countries have been around for thousands of years when all you did was conquest and steal other people's land. Do you forget what happened? How the millions of people throughout history have been murdered, and yet you want to blame us as the enemy when we were coming from you? We can play the name game. We could point fingers all we want. What does that do to help us? What does that do to make us closer together? What does that do to make us hate? I don't hate any of you. There are some of you I don't love as much. The trolls that want to say nothing but nasty things as they create new freaking profiles and hide behind a computer so they can whack off to saying stupid things. I don't hate them. I just think it's a waste of energy. That's their choice. But obviously their legacy will be nothing. And if that's what they want, congratulations. But I'll never wish them dead. They're fellow human beings. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Free will is going to either enlighten us or destroy us. It's what you make of it. And every time we pray to someone else, every time we think our vote is going to help, that's one less time you've done anything yourself. That's why governments rule. Governments rule not because they're powerful, not because they're superior, it's because we allow them. Who is the military? The military is made up of what? People. You want to continue to follow your orders and do corrupt things and murder people because you're just doing your job and you're just following orders? Well, don't be surprised when it's your turn to be shot in the head by somebody who did the same thing from their side, just doing their job. You want to complain about the banking system, and yet you have 20 some odd credit cards, and you're financing things that you can't afford, and you put your money into Citibank or Bank of America or Deutsche Bank or wherever? Why are you complaining? It's amazing to me. I'm not the crazy one. Let me tell you. That's one of the things I've come to realize. I'm passionate. I care. Not about just myself, but ladies and gentlemen, united we stand, divided we fall. And we are by far divided. So if you want to continue to think your government is better than our government, and their government's better than your government, and blah, 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 and we want to keep fighting and want to keep hating other people, and you want to keep allowing governments to do whatever they want with immunity and impunity, don't be surprised when they come for you. Don't be surprised. May not have happened yet. May not happen tomorrow. May take a little while. Your turn will come. Because we choose to do nothing. It's disgusting. So there's not going to be any happy ending on this video. I'm not going to tell people to just, wish it all away. Because I've tried that and look where that's got. We can keep hating. We can keep ignoring. We can keep allowing. Whose fault is that? Maybe it's time we stop being afraid. Because eventually when they take everything, you have nothing more to lose. But then at that point, you have nothing to gain either at that point. Is that what we want? Let's allow the media to continue to talk about our supposed problems between us and Russia. Let's continue to have the mainstream media continually allowed to look the other way. Let's allow our House of Representatives and our senators and our congressmen continually allow other branches of government to get away with literal murder and in theft and destroying of evidence while we get thrown in jail for the smallest of infractions. Let's keep allowing that to happen and see what positive things come out of it. So I will speak out, and I will speak my truth. Whether it's your truth or not, I can't control that, nor do I care, because I don't do it for anybody other than me. And if it resonates with you, then that's a positive thing. But as you could see, I have almost 29,000 subscribers with an average view count of about 600. It shows how little people care, and that's fine. They so want things to be bad. Why? I cannot fathom. If you still own your credit cards, I mean, like I said, I own one, and it's a bank card. And if I don't have the cash in my Federal Credit Union, I don't buy things that I cannot afford anymore. I don't have a bank account. I have a Federal Credit Union. I am my own boss. And yes, I'm suffering because the economy is shit, despite what the media tells you, despite what Obama tells you and what Hillary tries to pretend. It's good for them. So when they say the economy's good, they didn't say for who. So they're technically not lying to you. So they could sit there while they're raising their right hand, swearing to whatever God they really worship. Who knows? Because God is not a name, it's a title. They could sit there and say, oh, we're telling the truth. The economy's great. Just like Obama said, we're going to create change. He sure did. He didn't say if it was good or bad. They sucker you in. They tell you everything you want to hear. How many African American people voted for Obama in the beginning on his first term just because of the fact he was black? Can anybody tell me some of the things he did before he became president? Any of his achievements? I guarantee you can't, because he didn't have any, because he wasn't around for long. But yet, he got voted, quote-unquote, voted into an election and became president. He swore, yes, we can, let's make that change. Well, yeah, look in your bank account. That's probably all you have left is change. And now we're going to have a woman president. Why? Is she the most qualified? Oh, well, she might be the lesser of two evils, according to some. That's what we want to boil it down to. Well, I don't like that one, and I don't like this one, but this one's not as evil. So that's like saying I could drown you or burn you to death. Pick your poison. Well, drowning might be quicker, or the burning, at least I'll be warm for a little bit. So I'll pick one or the other. And no one seems to think that there is a third option. No, thank you, I would take neither. Isn't this in this country, our document, our most famous document, start out with the words, we the people? Where are the people? They're too busy dancing the night away. They're too busy being entertained and distracted. They're too busy being bribed and frightened. If that's the government you want, be careful what you wish for. So I think I've said enough to depress people. It's only depressing if you allow it to continue, if you don't do anything to fix it for yourself. No matter what happens, whether we have peace on earth and all of a sudden Jesus Christ comes down from the sky and saves us all, good luck with that one, or we have a full-fledged nuclear war, I'm not worried either way or any way, because I will go if it's my time to go, knowing that I did the best I could. And I can live with that. I don't live in fear. I could be annoyed. I could be frustrated. I could be pissed off. I can be quite angry. But it's temporary, and I'm okay with that. It's just another emotion. For some reason, it exists. And if it exists, it serves a purpose. And if something serves a purpose, then you have to find out what that is. If you're not willing to take the effort to do that, you will continue to experience it. We'll find out soon enough. Election's coming November 8th. I still to this day don't believe the election's going to happen, because the economy, the way they've stolen from us, they can only steal for so long, and they're going to need a distraction. And they've already picked their target. We can allow it if we want, or we can actually do something to stop it. We stop it, we save the day, we're all heroes. If we wait for one person, you'll be waiting and waiting and waiting. I'm not even going to ask you to thumb this one up. I'm not even going to ask you to share it. I appreciate those who listened for whatever reasons. And I hope I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong about this. Guess we'll find out. Have a good night. Sleep well. Enjoy your mainstream media. And all the friends who want to pretend nothing is wrong.